The Timdev Show? Clip arts are fun!
Welcome to another episode of the Timdev Show. Every week I interview random people about certain things, and we have our guest GB give his unique answers to it. Speaking of which, we have another segment of GB Knows Movies, so please welcome back GB.
Alright, I'm back. This is GB. This is GB Knows Movies. I watched a fantastic film known as Lars and the Real Girl this week, and I'm about to let you know all about it.
According to Wikipedia, Lars and the Real Girl is a 2007 American-Canadian comedy drama that stars Ryan Gosling. And GB watched it.
It was a fantastic film. The only thing that really made it Canadian was Ryan Gosling. There was nothing actually Canadian through the film. There was no theme about it. They actually never really said the location. It was somewhere up north is all they ever did.
When I came and saw a scene, there was Paris, Ontario.
But only because you were from there did you know where it was. And I add, this man was more excited than Matt Rosa at elementary school.
Question time!
Who was hotter, Bianca or Margot?
You know what? Different scenes, different views. When Margot went bowling with Lars, she was fairly attractive. I was like I would really like to date Margot. She was really cool. She was very attractive. Everything was it just looked awesome. And it was cool because Lars was finally starting to kind of get a real connection with a real person, unlike Bianca. Bianca helped him out through a lot. Her attractive level, she actually got complimented by many women about her hair. They actually tried to copy her hairstyle throughout the movie. And it's just a tough call. I would honestly say Margot, just out of stereotypical, gonna pick the real one. So we're gonna have to go with that one.
What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was probably when Ryan Gosling first introduced his new girlfriend to his brother and sister-in-law. He comes over, he says, I met someone, and they're all happy for him, and they bring her over to dinner, and you just pans out and then cuts to the new scene, and both their faces are just completely jaw-dropped, staring. They don't say anything for a good 30 seconds. And just their faces were so priceless, I was laughing hysterically.
Were you sad when Bianca died?
You know what? It was a heartfelt scene. But it proved how much Lars had grown. Because she started to get really sick once he started to make a real connection with Margot. So it really showed he was finally ready to accept real people into his life. This was actually very hard for him. He describes that when people hug him, it feels like people are burning him. So when he finally starts getting the capability to accept people to touch him, it showed that he was ready for the world, and it just showed so much. There's the town, I think, carried it off a little too far. They actually had a funeral for her. Which, you know what? If I go into a rant, excuse me. But this town, as much as I complimented it before, this town was completely out of its mind. I'm not saying that Tibbs town's out of its mind. Just whatever town this was supposed to actually be was out of its mind. This town completely and utterly engulfed the belief that she was alive. Like I said, she was elected to the school board. She got a job at the mall. And I'll give you one guess at what she was doing. She was a window model. She was working 3 days a week. It just was so much. It was just kept steamrolling. I couldn't believe how much this town was doing to accept that. Granted, they all seemed to be really close, but that just seemed to hurt a lot more than it helped. It almost went on for a year, something like that. It was a long time before he actually started going out with Margot and all that.
Would you date Bianca?
You know, for a fake person, she had a lot going on. She ended up with more of a social life than Lars. There was actually one scene that comes to mind that completely speaks that. Lars comes home and he's excited to play Scrabble with Bianca. And he comes in and his sister-in-law and this elder lady that was helping out with everything, they're wheeling her out in a wheelchair, and he's like, what's going on? Apparently she got elected to the school board and she had to go to a school board meeting. And he actually got angry that they were not allowed to play Scrabble, and he actually started getting loud voice, yelling a bit. It was funny because the older lady even says, just because you don't have anything else going outside out of this house doesn't mean she doesn't. Considering she was a fake person, that's amazing.
Would you watch Lars and the Real Girl again?
Oh, multiple times. That movie was fantastic. It spoke to me on so many levels. Not so much getting a sex doll as a girlfriend, because I haven't done that. You know what? It's not a bad idea. The town really accepted it. Like, you know, you get such a knockoff that he does this, but you know what? He was happy. He was happy. And the whole town was happy to see him happy. And they did so many different things for this doll to make it happy, because they even pretended that it was alive for him. And to have that kind of effect on a town, to have them go through that much trouble for me, it would be nice. It would be nice to have. So I would watch this movie multiple times just to try and imagine me being him.
What would you give this out of your stupid imaginary number star thing?
Oh, this was definitely 4.5. This was definitely a 4.5.
You never give a solid star, do you?
No, I don't. I always like to try to stay right in the middle. Kind of like the movies I've been watching. You know, they're right in the middle there of a controversy. So, you know, that's just where we stay at. It's where GB likes to stay. It's where he's comfortable.
All right, well, that was Lars and the Real Girl. Join us next week when GB watches Not Suitable for Children, and we get to understand some more of his movie knowledge.
And just remember, GB knows.
Awesome. Welcome. No, fuck. We're just gonna record from this. All right.
She actually ended up with more of a social life than, what's his name? You can cut this out. Lars.
Out after like serious face when you were talking with your hands, so you're just